the Local Law Enforcement Hour. This is your Sheriff, John Myers, and our technical advisor, Maddie Hyde.
Hey, sir, how about you shut it for a second? We're already live.
So kick back and stay tuned and enjoy the show. It seems like this is a trend.
That has been over 2 months ago.
I think it's a trend.
Let me check your volume.
It's twice.
I can't hear nothing.
Not a nothing. You're going to have to get that microphone right up in front of you, Lieutenant. What about now?
You're good.
Everybody. Yeah, you're going to have to get that. You're either going to have to scoot down, or you're going to have to pull that cord out a little bit.
Is he
further.
always this bossy?
But you got to be right. No, because there's listeners that listen that will tell me when I see them.
You know he has a fan club.
I do.
When I see them
They come
out,
in and ask about them every day.
they'll say, your guests have got to get closer. So you got.
Did they tell you not to mess with your mic?
No, that's never even been brought up.
Okay.
It's always the guests.
Maybe it's my OCD/ADHD that it really messes with me when you touch it.
It's always the guests that are listening on the radio.
He pulled his mic out, and so he can.
Desperado.
Well, if you would get us a boom would be better. I've asked for a boom like 10 times.
We wanted to put booms in here, and Roger wouldn't let us. But I think that we are actually going to, when we redo the studio, we're going to have booms in there.
That way, and if you'll
Don't touch that.
If you'll put a recliner, I can kick back in the recliner. And
There's
just
not
pull
going to
the
be
boom,
recliners,
or
but
like
there's
a
going to be
couch,
like a round table.
or a love seat.
Probably.
Or something
You're
comfortable.
really...
Something more comfortable than these chairs.
Thank you.
I don't feel like they're that bad.
No. All right, so...
Basically, what he described was he wanted a studio like Howard Stern.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I don't even watch Howard Stern. Is he even still alive? Does he still have a show?
I've never listened to Howard Stern.
Me
Never been
neither.
able to stand him.
Maddie,
Yes.
the numbers from last month are jacked up.
It's because you opened them on your phone.
I know, but we want to talk a little bit about...
Here, I'm going to pull them up on my computer.
We're going to talk a little bit about last month's... What? Before we get started, did I tell you I was in a pursuit? Did I tell you I was in a pursuit day before? Do y'all know I was in a pursuit?
Yes, you told us.
Did y'all hear the rumor? Well, it was true. I was in a pursuit.
The room.
First
For
pursuit.
once, it was true.
So I've only been in like 3 pursuits, I think, since I've been elected. I got in one right after I got elected from that idiot that was running from the city, and we chased him all the way through town and out Red Hill Road, and we hit the Natchez Trace.
I was making sure it was working.
Thank you. And so anyway, that was the first one. Then there was another one that I was involved in. But the one Tuesday, so all the deputies, well, not all of them, me and another new hire deputy, great young deputy that we just put on the road not long ago, were still available to take calls. Everybody else, including the investigators, I think you were down there, and I think Lieutenant Haddock was down there, and some of the other employees were down there. We had a priority call involving a death from a gunshot wound, so that usually means pretty much any available unit, they need to go down there. And so that left the rest of the county for me and this other deputy. And I had just made a loop up the north end of the county, and I went up to my mother's house. I think most people know I've got an elderly mom, and I went up there to say hi to her and check on her. And my brother was actually taking her to town, so I got to visit for like 2 minutes, and then I left. Well, I was headed back down the highway, and I was going to go out on the eastern side of the county until I started hearing people break free from the call down in, it was in Leoma, right? Leoma, Loretta area,
Yeah,
off Rabbit Trail. Well, anyway, a call comes in, and the call is there's an individual that's behind a vehicle coming through town, and they're reporting that the vehicle they're following is stolen. It was stolen out of Murray County 2 or 3 days prior. And the owner of the vehicle was behind it, following it. And they had dispatch on the phone. So they gave the call out as a stolen vehicle with the victim behind them. And they were on Buffalo Road. And I was way up on the north end. So I cut across a couple of Amish roads to get over to Buffalo Road. Well, as I get to Brace Road, I key up and ask dispatch. And I'm not saying anything bad about dispatch. I promise you I'm not. But I pulled up to Brace Road, and I'm thinking, well, if they're coming up Buffalo Road, if they turn right and head east, I need to head south on Brace Road to intercept them. If they're still on Buffalo Road, I need to go straight across and hit Buffalo Road. And if they're headed west on Etheridge Red Hill Road or another side road, then I'm going to be playing catch up. So anyway, I keyed up the radio and I asked dispatch. I said, "Is the person, the victim, still behind the stolen vehicle? And if they are they still on Buffalo Road?" Well, the dispatcher comes back and says they've turned on Etheridge Red Hill Road and they're headed east. And I thought for like a split second, I said, that's perfect. I'm right here at Brace. So I hooked a left on Brace and I gassed it. And I took off down Brace because I knew I could intercept them somewhere around the Etheridge area. Well, 5 seconds after he says they're headed east on Red Hill Road, he comes back and says, correction, they're westbound. And now I'm screwed. Now I don't have any way to cut across unless I cut across Bridie Road. So I hauled butt down to Bridie Road. And then they're taking some side roads off of Hudson Road, and they finally wind up on Red Hill Road, Center Red Hill Road, and then they hit Turnpike. Well, by the time they do all that, I'm on Buffalo Road. So I take off to the north end of Buffalo Road and sit at the intersection because now they're on Turnpike. Well, then they hit another side road, and what they're doing is they're trying to lose the person that's behind them because they know, hey, this is the owner of the vehicle. And they're trying to stay with them. And
I was going to ask you if they knew that they were being followed by the owner.
Yeah, because they're hitting every little side road trying to lose them. So they take one more side road and they do a U-turn and they come back out on Turnpike. And one of the constables, he'd put on his gear and grabbed his pistol and jumped in his truck and he was coming up Turnpike. And we were both waiting to see which way they turned on Turnpike. So he staged up at the fire hall, and I pulled off a little church there not far from the Buffalo Road intersection and sat there for maybe 30 seconds, and they said that they were headed towards Summertown, so I knew they was going to come right by me. So as soon as they came by me, I pulled out. And there was a car in front of the stolen vehicle, and he was trying to get around that car so he could lose the other car behind him. Guy was all over the road. And finally, he goes around it, and I'm catching up to him, and he's darting in and out of that oncoming lane, putting car. There was traffic coming, and they were having to hit the shoulder to keep from hitting this idiot. So, and I've got my blue lights, and I flip my siren on, and I just finally get around the car that's following him and get in behind him. Well, he nails it, and I run him all the way up into Summertown. And I just keyed up the radio and told dispatch, notify Murray County.
I heard that.
And then when we get to Summertown Market, he comes through Summertown Market sideways and he takes off towards Lewis County on Highway 20. And I keyed up and said, Signal 9, notify Lewis County.
I told Lieutenant Haddock, I said, oh, he went left.
Yep, he went left. So... And I don't know if most people know what I drive. I drive a Jeep Cherokee. Same thing you do. We got a good deal on those Jeep Cherokees, and we bought them for our admin people. And they run pretty good. I mean, they've got a little pep to them.
Yeah, they'll go.
They don't handle that great, but they get down the road pretty good. And I was able to stay with him, but he was just doing some really stupid stuff. I mean, he was, like I said, he was darting into oncoming traffic and forcing vehicles off the road and off the shoulder. I wasn't going to do that. So somebody that has no regard for their own safety and other people on the road, they don't care. And it's hard to keep up with somebody like that because I'm not going to drive like that. I'm not going to be responsible for a crash or an injury or something. So I'm a lot more careful than he is. Plus, they throwed a passerby saw a package come out the window, and another individual, well, the same individual was able to pick it up and bring it back to us at the Quick Mart. Of course, it had methamphetamine, which wasn't surprising. And we later found out that the girl that the car was stolen from, the guy that took it was bragging about having warrants in another county. So he had all the right reasons to run, if there is a right reason. But I ran him all the way into Lewis County, past Drake's Lane, past Peters Road, past Swan Creek, and I started losing sight of him because of the hills and the curves. Like I said, he was doing a lot of stupid stuff that I wasn't doing. And I finally killed the blue lights and sirens and just turned around at the trace. Well, as soon as I turned around at the trace, I called Sheriff Kilpatrick. And I was thinking, man, I hope he's got his radio on. I hope he's listening to all this. Well, he was right there with it. I mean, Kilpatrick's a lot like me. He's a worker. I mean, he likes to get out and help and work too. And as soon as he answered, I could hear his radio over his truck. And I said, please tell me y'all got these idiots. And he says, yeah. He said, we're behind them. And I think it was Hohenwald PD had thrown out a spike strip, and they had avoided it. And they got them on Buffalo Road going out of Hohenwald, and they was able to get another spike strip out from under and blow the front two tires or passenger side tires or something. Anyway, the car just kind of petered out. And they got him on the shoulder and got him out and got him handcuffed and got him arrested. And I found out all that on the way back to the Quick Mart to meet up with the victim and the other deputy that was coming to help. And it was a long, drawn out pursuit, and it was a complicated set of circumstances that led up to it, because apparently the car belonged to a guy that was in the hospital, and he had left it in the care of this girl, and it was the girl's ex-boyfriend that went over and took the vehicle without consent and left and wouldn't bring it back. So that's how it all played out. She tried to report it. She said she tried to report it, and the officials in Murray County, I don't know if it was Columbia PD or Murray County or whoever it was, told her that, since she wasn't the rightful owner, that she couldn't report it stolen, which, that neither here nor there. It was taken without consent, and then when she contacted her ex-boyfriend and said, hey, you took that car and you're not supposed to have that car, you need to bring it back. He was like, no, I'm not bringing it back. And then somebody snitched him out and told her that it was here in Lawrenceburg somewhere. So she finds it at a residence or something, finds it on the road or finds it at a residence and gets in behind and calls us. And that's how it all happened. So the good news is we got the vehicle back and nobody got injured, nobody got hurt. And very seldom does a pursuit end like that. You've been in enough to know. You know that almost all of them involve in some type of violent incident. It's either a crash or it's a foot chase or a fight or all three. A lot of times it's all three. They crash out, they run, you catch them, and then you have to fight them to get them handcuffed. But anyway, none of that happened. And I spent the biggest part of the day doing paperwork from it. Yeah, see, that's the fun stuff. That's the fun stuff, is chasing down the bad guys and catching them. After that, and when you involve other agencies, that's a lot of legwork, because you got to get copies of reports sent to you. You got to get copies of statements sent to you. Like I said, luckily there wasn't any. To the best of my knowledge, there was no accidents. There was no property damage. He didn't hit anybody. And what happened over there? They charged him. I think they charged him with evading arrest and some other stuff. And then we sent a deputy over today to pick him up and brought him back. And we've got him charged with possession of a stolen vehicle and possession of methamphetamine, because once we got the package back and got a statement from the person that said he saw it get thrown out of the vehicle and he retrieved it and brought it to us, we just went on ahead and charged both of them. We had it field tested and weighed, and it was a pretty good chunk of methamphetamine. So
Charging with felony evading as well.
there apparently, I found this out today, that if there's one continuing incident like a pursuit, and since Lewis County charged them with evading, unless, and this is what the DA was telling me today, for example, if I'm chasing this guy and I never lose sight of him, and then another agency in another jurisdiction gets involved and I back out and I let them take the lead because now we're in their jurisdiction, I'm going to let them have the lead. And they charge you, according to what the ADA said, as long as I don't lose sight of that vehicle and as long as there's not a stretch or a period of time in that pursuit where there's no pursuit, then both agencies can charge them with evading.
But because you terminated, then...
Well, I terminated it, and I lost them. They were too far ahead of me, and I lost visual on them, so I terminated it and backed out. And then later on, they see the vehicle come through their jurisdiction, and they start after him, and he evades them. So I'm going to go on ahead and charge him. I'm going to charge him with evading in Lawrence County and let Lewis County charge him with evading in Lewis County also. Because he evaded both counties. He evaded both agencies. It wasn't one continuous. Basically, there was two pursuits.
I was going to say, it sounds, seems to me like it was a pursuit by both counties.
Mm-hmm.
So charges exist in both counties.
So we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot of variables, I guess, when you're looking in the eyes of the law when it comes to a pursuit. Pursuits are dangerous. They're probably one of the more dangerous things that we do. Because, like I said, the potential for a violent act at the end of it is almost 90%. 9 out of 10 of them is going to end. Very seldom do the bad guy just pull over, get out, put his hands up, and give up.
Yeah.
There's usually a chase or a fight, crash, or all three, or who knows? Who knows what else? But anyway, that was my Tuesday afternoon. Yesterday, we found out that Cumberland County, which is up in the Sparta-Crossville area, had an individual arrested and in jail up there that had warrants out of Lawrence County. And so anyway, we were talking about it Monday at the briefing, Monday morning briefing, and it was brought to our attention. And this week has been crazy anyway. But the manpower shortage we've been dealing with because we've got a bunch in training. Y'all are going to be in training next week. We've got some that's burning some time because hunting season is starting to really hunting season is starting to come in. So we got some burning some annual leave and some comp time.
Talking about a particular individual?
They're talking about, well, there's a couple, but there's one main one. But anyway, no, so those guys earn that time and they're taking it off and we're trying to fill in for them. But anyway, I was talking to our patrol lieutenant Monday and I said, let's just go up. We'll just go up Wednesday and pick them up. I know the sheriff over there and he's a great dude. It'll probably be a pretty good trip and it'll give us a reason to get out of Lawrence County. So we thought we were going to have two to pick up because they were defendants, co-conspirators, whatever, they'd been involved in the same stuff, I guess. And anyway, they caught the one, but the other one ran on foot and they didn't catch them. And when we got to the jail yesterday afternoon, we asked, by the way, did you get the other guy too so we can bring both of them back at once? And they said, no, he still hadn't been picked up yet. So we left with the one and we found out this morning that they found him last night and brought him in. So we got to go back to Cumberland County and get another one. Missed him by one day. They'd captured him one day before. We'd had them both, and we could have brought them both back at one time. But
you and Lieutenant Haddock going to go again?
Well, maybe. The thing is, when I stay gone all day like that, it puts me behind. It's another day that I got to work my butt off to get caught up. And this was a day, man. I'm telling you what, this was a day. I've run since I had a VA appointment this morning. I had to go for a quick VA appointment. And then it was just as hard as I could go as soon as I got back. Trying to get all this done, I had to catch the judge before he left because you got to get his signature on the warrants and the minimus and all that other stuff. And then I had Lewis County barking, wanting me to hurry up and come over there and get this guy and the other guy, you know, and bring him back over to our county. So anyway, we made it happen. Got it all knocked out in time to come sit down up here and hang out with Maddie and everybody else at the radio station. Talk about all the good times and good things going on.
Speaking of VA, this weekend we've got Veterans Day.
That's tomorrow. It's being observed Saturday, though, right?
Saturday is Veterans Day, but they're making it a holiday.
Yep.
Like you get off
Right.
for it.
Yeah, we're off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Woohoo.
must be nice.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
those
we
veterans out there, happy Veterans Day.
are. Happy
Appreciate
Veterans Day. Got the Marine Corps birthday. Man, I'm telling you what, this no wonder I've been so busy this week. No wonder. When's the parade?
The Veterans Day Parade is at the same time, at the same place, at the same location every single year.
11 o'clock?
Nope. It is November the 11th at 11:11, and it goes from the square down past E.L. Kaufman.
I just said, is it at 11 o'clock?
It's at 11:11, not 11 o'clock, 11:11.
Oh, 11:11.
Yes, get it?
I do get it.
Same time, same
You
place.
gotta yell
every
at me.
year.
I was just
well,
asking.
you weren't paying attention.
11:11
On 11:11,
from...
the square down past E.L. Kaufman.
No,
That's
it don't
how
start at the square. It starts right there behind Brink, don't it? Right there on Deller or Depot.
Okay,
or...
maybe I don't know where the location is. I just know it's the date and time.
What's the next street past Deller?
Let's look. I don't know.
It's the one behind the church, right there on Military.
Mm-mm.
That's where it starts.
I'm looking.
And they go down towards the square. I remember, not last year, but the year before, I was in a Jeep. I was in one of the old Willys Jeeps, old 1940s, you know, Jeep.
I had a buddy of mine that had those. He used to buy them and restore them.
Yeah, well, this one didn't have a top. Or if it did, it wasn't on. And it rained. I mean, it didn't rain, it come a monsoon. And I hope Curtis Peters is listening, we ran out of gas. We ran out of gas, I think, at like 4th Street. It was 4th Street. Or 3rd. 4th Street. Yeah, because we had to go bum gas from Aaron Story over at Lawrenceburg Marine.
So it comes down that back road to the square, and then it kind of ends at Kaufman. I remember the Veterans Day Parade going by Kaufman.
Maybe somebody's listening, and if they call in, they'll tell us.
Oh,
Or
man.
you might can look, Google it.
I'm looking.
Okay.
I think we've shared it somewhere.
But anyway, yeah, I got wet, and Curtis kept turning on it, and it never would fire. It never would fire. And somebody come up and they took the gas cap off, and it's bone dry.
So you're looking around. Whose responsibility was it to get the
Sitting
gas?
in the pouring down rain, ran out of gas, had to push it over in the Lawrenceburg Marines parking lot, and bummed enough
It
gas.
begins at Coleman Memorial Methodist,
That's it.
headed south to Lawrenceburg Public Square, around the square to Pulaski Street, and end at E.L. Kaufman Middle School.
Yep, that's it. You're right. Got it. So I don't know if I'll be in it this year or not. I may take a quick little vacation and get out of town for a couple of days. Don't
It's
know
a long
yet.
weekend.
I don't know yet. I don't know. I'll leave the county in good hands though. We'll have some good guys.
There's
making
your
sure.
Jeep.
That was last year. See how sunny and pretty it was?
Mhm.
And that one had a top on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't want to get caught in the rain. What do you want to bet? There's a gas can on the kickback.
Well, there was 2 of them. That's he's gonna kill me because I can't remember his name. But the one that I was in was with Curtis Peters. That was the one that ran out of gas.
So
And that's his claim to fame now.
What's the actual date of the Marine Corps' birthday?
Is it Friday?
Is it Friday? It's the 10th, right?
What is today? I can't remember.
It's the 9th.
You're making making dead air happen.
So,
I'm sorry.
So I was in the Navy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll wish all of my little brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps a happy birthday.
Yeah, it's the 10th. I told you it was tomorrow. You had me confused for a minute. But anyway, so you had a long conversation with Tyler McDowell today, right? Or he was leaving when I was pulling up, and the chief deputy said y'all had discussed some stuff. Y'all talked a little bit about the fires, and we had a fire yesterday when we were in Cumberland County. I got a phone call. We had over, well, it was a little over
46 acres.
Yeah, it was a little over 50 acres, I think, when they called and told me yesterday. That was down on Griffin Road, I think.
Griffin.
Yeah.
So I want to say there was actually 2 fires yesterday.
Yes.
But one of them, it was somewhere 45, 50 acres that ended up burning. And, of course, we had the one, was it last week, 2 weeks ago, that burned near 300 or right around 300 acres. So anyway, Tyler came in, had a good conversation with him, really just talking about the roles and responsibilities of different agencies, and kind of differences, and talking about public perception and public education around what some of this stuff means. So first of all, Lawrence County is in an extreme drought. All right, so if you look at the maps, we're in deep red. We're over 8 inches in deficit of rain year to date. So everything is completely dry. Obviously, people listening may look outside and go, what the heck's he talking about? It's raining.
Not today. Getting a little rain today.
But we're only expecting about a half inch, which really won't put a whole lot of a dent into the overall drought situation. Now, obviously in the short term, it's going to help a little bit, kind of keep those leaves from being a little bit too crunchy. But we're in a little bit of a situation with the drought. Probably, when you look at the long-term outlook, probably going to be spring before we have an opportunity to really recover from it.
They said we at least need like 7 to 8 inches of rain, but not at one time. Like our creeks are even extremely low. And there is water shortages because of it, so they're asking to not use, you can still shower, wash clothes, whatever, but don't fill pools, water your grass, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Wash cars.
Yeah.
Extreme.
So if we have those people that have moved to Lawrence County from California, maybe you can share some tips and tricks.
How long ago was it when Gatlinburg?
That
Was that 3 years ago?
No, I feel like it was longer
5.
than
I think
that.
it was like 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess it probably was a little bit long. Golly, time flies. I don't know what day of the week it is half the time, but yeah, I remember those fires, and it was dry that year.
Yeah. So anyway, we're in a drought.
2016.
It's been 7 years.
So that's already been 7 years. So
But there is a burn ban in the city of Lawrenceburg.
the city.
In the city.
Yes. So
But they're asking people in the county, like, don't be dumb. Just don't burn things. Because, as we've seen in the past couple of weeks, what it can do, just one small fire can spread like crazy.
Yeah. What Maddie's trying to say in an eloquent way is to use some common sense.
Yes, do not burn anything. We are in a drought. It is not that hard.
I've never, you could find 10 people and ask them to describe Maddie with one word. None of them would say eloquent.
That is, I like that.
Would common sense even be in the top 10?
I'm not saying, what he's meaning is I'm not saying what I'm really thinking. Like I'm reeling it back a little bit.
A little bit.
But, extreme drought, I think that the county is trying to get it, in order for a ban to be placed on the entire county, it has to go through the state. So
Correct.
I think they're
has
kind
to
of
be issued by the.
So I think they're kind of waiting on that, from what I've understood. Is that right?
So not really waiting. However, one of the things that Tyler and I talked about was that he's had a conversation with our county executive, David Morgan, and he's actually putting in the request to the state to issue an actual burn ban within the county of Lawrence. And so right now what we have are burn restrictions, and that means that so everybody knows, or if you don't know, from October 15th through March 15th, across the state of Tennessee, you have to have a permit to burn. And that is by law and outlined by TCA.
Now define that burn.
So if you're going to burn anything in open air, so fire pits, if you're burning extra leaves, if you're burning, wood, any outside open flame, you're supposed to have a burn permit.
So even if you've got a bricked up fire pit in your backyard,
if it's an open flame out in the open, not attached to a residence or a home, then you have to have a permit to use it.
Okay.
That's between October 15th and March 15th. So without that permit, then technically you're in violation of the law. A burn ban, regardless of what permits have been issued, those are then null and void if a ban is issued. So Tyler was explaining to me, I got a little bit of an education today, that there are actually annual permits that are issued to, as an example, in our area, the Amish, especially those that operate the wood mills. They will be granted an annual permit to be able to burn. And so for those permits to be null and void, then a ban would have to be issued. Now, that's not to say that you can burn without due care. So you are still subject to the clauses within those permits and within the law that says you have to take due care when burning. You can't do it negligently, which comes back to the common sense that Maddie was talking about. And you don't want to burn a pile of leaves in 30-mile-an-hour winds, because it's going to spread, and it's going to spread quickly, and it's going to get out of control.
What about garbage? What about burning your garbage in a burn barrel? See, a lot of my paper garbage I don't throw away because it's got sensitive information on it.
So that's going to be an open flame, and so you'd have to have a permit.
They keep getting me up on that open flame, Maddie. It's that open flame thing.
Don't be dumb and don't burn things right now. Just don't.
Well,
just save it in a bag and burn it later.
Can I bring it and throw it in your garage?
I'm just saying, it's not going to be good when you start a fire at your house and somebody gets dispatched out and they're going to be like, that is the sheriff's house.
If I catch something on fire, I'm not calling anybody.
You're just letting it burn to the...
I'm either going to get it out or I'm leaving.
But
in other news, a neighborhood burns down.
The whole golf course in Summertown gone.
If I don't get it out, I'll just leave.
Thanks to your sheriff.
Somebody will call.
He's burning his documents with his personal information.
Somebody will call it in.
He can't wait.
Somebody will call it in. But no, it is. It's a serious. The volunteer firefighters in this county have been working their butts off.
They've been working
lately.
hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, just so everybody knows. Lawrence County Sheriff's Department will be on the lookout, and the Tennessee Code, if we do see you burning, you could be subject to fines and fees and citations according to TCA 3914-306.
Now is that?
So can you explain to me, like, each individual little town, like Loretto has released a burn ban, Etheridge has,
so that's
Summertown
within
has.
the city.
Okay.
So you have the cities, and those are controlled by city ordinances.
Okay.
And those are issued at the city level, and then you've got the county.
All right.
That has to be issued by the state in conjunction with a request from each of the county executives.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not in effect yet, though, right?
So
there's a request that's been made.
So the burn ban is not into effect. It has been requested. The TCA of 3914-306, which basically is burning without a valid permit, that is enforceable right now, because that's between October 15th and March 15th. Now, typically, if somebody's doing it responsibly, we leave people alone. But given the situation, both environmentally and what we've seen in the last few weeks, then I think we're going to be paying a little bit more attention to it.
Yeah, we have to, because right now, I mean, a cigarette, you throw a cigarette out the window, as dry as it is, it can start a fire.
Yeah, because typically it's going to end up in the ditch, and what's in the ditch are all the leaves that have come off of the trees.
Yep. And I mean, if you've got, I mean, I've got a fire ring in my backyard. That's one of my favorite things to do, is get a fire going and kick back in the evenings. And you just got to watch it, because if something, we've all sat around and you poke the fire, stir it up, and move some logs around to put some more on there. All those embers that come off that wood, all it takes is one. And then you're going to be wishing you wouldn't have built a fire.
Yeah, my wife just asked me about it today. She was saying, so you're saying we can't build a fire in our fire pit? I'm like, nope, we can't.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I mean, it's just common sense. What Maddie said: leave your garbage in your garage, so whenever company comes over and they walk through your garage, they smell that bag of chicken
okay,
that you
have a landfill
left
for
in
that. Take
in
it
that
to
bag.
The dump. Take it to the dump.
Well, what about people like me that live way out in the county?
You can come to town and drop your garbage off. It's okay.
Anyway,
I probably
leave it
people.
leave it in your basement, leave it in your garage, so you can.
I mean, I wouldn't leave it in the house or nothing like that.
You probably got garbage pickup. See, those people out.
I just want you to know that I did not have garbage pickup.
I bet your
dad.
Your dad comes and gets your garbage personally.
No, he doesn't, because he drives a city vehicle, and I lived on the out of the city limits. So no, he would not drive to pick up my garbage.
I thought you lived in the city.
I do now, and I do have garbage pickup. But in my previous homes, I didn't.
Well, I mean, if you was my daughter and I ran the landfill, I'd come get your garbage for you.
He's not putting it in his good truck. Are you kidding me? He was like, no, you can take that, drop it off at the landfill like everybody else.
I hope he's listening.
He probably is, and he'll verify that.
One of these days,
think of what I'm going to get you, Maddie, is I'm going to get you a plaque that says, don't be stupid.
Don't be dumb. Just don't be dumb.
Put it on the outside of your office before you walk into the door.
Yeah, don't be dumb.
What else we got going on? We've got the sheriff's the shop with the sheriff's thing.
You only got 15 minutes left.
I've been pushing that hard. Mm-hmm. Well, I say pushing that hard. I haven't really pushed it yet. I
have it pulled up here.
I haven't really got in gear yet. I've had a lot going on this week.
So that's all right. I've been out there working it for you.
Well, that's why I got you. That's why I got you, Lieutenant, because you do such a great job. Yeah. I'm telling you, this is one of the best things that we've incorporated in this administration ever. I mean, we've done a lot of good things. We've incorporated a lot of good programs. We got a lot of good stuff going on right now at the Sheriff's Department. But this is a tearjerker, man. This is a tearjerker. On that night when we take those kids and take them and let them get something to eat, and then we take them and drop them off and give them that prepaid card and just let them go. And I guess I've kind of gotten a little bit more sentimental in my older years, but stuff like that tears at my heartstrings, man. Especially when some of those kids buy stuff for their brothers or their sisters or their moms or their dads or something. It gets to you, dude. I'm telling you, and I love it. And how much did we raise last year? You remember?
I don't remember the total amount. I know that we had about 16, 17 kids, and they all had about $300. So, do the math. It was somewhere in that area.
I'd like to double that. I'd like to double that this year.
Yeah, and, the experience to a man, this is all done with volunteer officers through the Sheriff's Department. We actually got another volunteer today, just to throw it out there, from one of the officers down in Loretto. He's going to join us. He was part of it last year and wanted to do it again this year. So we appreciate that. But to a man, every one of them said that they probably got more out of it than the children did. Because it's stories like that. These are at-risk kids or kids that don't have a whole lot. And just the selflessness that these guys were able to see when they're saying, hey, here's money. We're gonna shop with you. You can buy toys, and their thoughts were not about, hey, can I buy a toy? It's I really want to get something special for my mom, or I want to get something special for my grandmother.
Or when they buy clothes.
Yeah.
And,
didn't you say that you had an officer that worked for you and he can remember doing something like this?
Yeah,
as a child?
he did it when he was a kid, and he actually got to go with the local police department and do it. And he said, man, I had some pretty tough Christmases growing up because we didn't have nothing. But he said that Christmas, I remember that. He said that was the best Christmas I ever had when I was a kid. He remembers it better than any of the other ones, because he got to go hang out with some police and go buy his family some stuff for Christmas. But so yeah, if you're a business owner, and I know you, I'm probably going to be coming up to you with my hand out. I haven't
seen you in a while.
I don't do it very often. I don't. I like to be low maintenance, but this time of year, I mean, it's such. If they could come and see it, which we try to put a lot of little videos and pictures and stuff on our social media pages, so people out in the community can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what we're seeing when we do it. But man, I'm telling you what, it's good stuff, and I hope everybody chips in this year. So if you're listening, probably sometime in the next 3 weeks, I'll be knocking on your door, hitting you up.
Yeah,
hitting you up for a donation.
Let me just mention, McDonald's has stepped up again this year. They're going to feed the kids and the officers.
That's great. I mean, that's hurdle. That's the first hurdle.
Yeah, and Walmart has partnered with us again. Of course, they're going to give us space and time and work with us to get the kids through. Working on logistics with them to make sure it's done in an efficient and safe way. We've already had a few businesses that have stepped up. This week I want to mention the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Chapter 18.5. They donated $400 to us.
Right on.
And of course Chapman Tire, who's always been a good partner of the community, has also donated $200 to us. So we're off to a positive start, and just need to keep it moving.
Yeah, man. Now we're doing the No Shave November thing again this year, right?
Yeah, can you tell I'm growing?
Yeah, me too. Yeah. How's that look, Maddie?
So
do I need to thin that out a little bit?
Explain to everybody what that is, because y'all have done that for a long time.
We started that the first year in office, and basically we lifted. We're not as strict on facial hair as some of the prior administrations. Some of the prior administrations had a zero facial hair policy, or maybe just like the Zorro mustache that my mama made me wear that one year for Halloween. Don't get me started again on that Halloween. But yeah, so we lifted that and we let the guys grow a little bit like a well-trimmed goatee. But the gloves come off in November. We say, hey, look, if you want to grow a full beard, grow it. And but it's going to cost you $50, and you get to keep it on your face till what, March 1, I think.
5 months. Give them 5 months, so basically $10 a month.
Yeah, so you get to grow a full beard, and
where's that money?
And that money, we generally pick a local organization to donate that money to. Last year, who did we do? You remember who it was?
I don't.
I know we did the kids' place one year, and I would have to look back. It's local. It's somebody local. I don't remember who it was.
But it goes to a charity, all the money that we collect.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And what do we get? We usually get around $1,500 or something for that. Or
yeah, I know it's over 1,000.
And I can't grow a beard, so I don't even try. I'll donate the money.
But you'll dye your hair pink.
Well, I mean, I got hair on my head. I just can't grow it on my face.
I can't grow it either place, so I don't even.
I mean, if I do, I look rough. I'll put it to you like that.
Rough.
I look rough. I do.
I look like a dog with mange.
I look like the Apache here. It's an Indian beard, Apache here and Apache there. But anyway, if I could grow one, I would. If I could grow one, I'd wear it year round. I would pull my sheriff's rank that I have, and I'd wear one year round. I mean, I'm talking, I would put braids and beads and monkey bones and all that stuff, you know. I would too.
No,
I would
you
too.
wouldn't.
I would wear it, and I'd grow a mullet. But I can't do any of that. When I retire, I'm going to grow a mullet.
He wants to grow his mullet back.
Well,
But you just have to deal with dyeing your hair pink.
What?
and I
Were
no,
you not just giving me a hard time about some coat that came from the 80s and now you want to go back to a mullet?
He's talking about that jacket he talks about. What kind?
members only. My
on-
members
yeah.
only jacket. I'm waiting
And a
on some.
mullet.
I'm waiting on somebody to buy me one.
He wants a members only jacket.
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring back the members
I
only
think they're
jacket.
kind
Want us
of
to buy you some roller
they're
skates?
They're in style. They're kind of like bomber jackets. I had to look up and see what a members only
Some
jacket.
Keds.
He talks about it all
I'll
the
get
time.
me some
I was gonna
Keds
say,
and wear 'em.
You don't even know what a members only is, do you?
No,
No, that's before her time. The 80s. You missed the 80s.
I
That's
missed
all.
the
You
80s.
missed
I
the
probably would have
80s.
thrived in the 80s, though. I feel like
They were the best.
Everybody
years.
did. That's the good part about it.
that's the good part about it.
No, I think instead of growing a beard, which I can't, so there's no point in me donating money to a cause that I can't. I mean, I'm going to donate, but I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do something similar. So I may need your help, kind of like the Cash for Cancer. I'm going to see how much money I can get people to donate to this, and I'll dye my hair red and green for the day that we take the kids to
He's
Walmart.
all about dyeing his hair now.
Just trying to cover up the gray.
You just got demoted. You just got demoted. I'm busting you down to buck sergeant.
He's all about dyeing his hair now.
You just got busted
So
down.
I don't think I
Well,
was.
I mean, when he decided that he was going to dye his hair, it was like we were live on radio. So he just spit it out, and then like he thought about it for a second, and he was like, "Hey, if I temporarily dye that, it's going to wash out, right?"
As
And
long
I'm
as they
like,
make
"You've already committed.
as long as they
Like,
make the washout stuff, I'm going to do it.
There's
Yeah.
no turning back now. You've committed."
So I think I'll do that instead of growing a beard. I don't know. I'm going to work.
Well,
I'm gonna
what's your
think-
goal? Because last year, if 17 kids got $300, that's $5,100. So, what's your goal?
I don't know. You got to get
So-
with him and the other guy that's ramrodding this thing.
Yeah, so I would like to keep it at about the same, about $300 per child.
So,
and
but
we're
you
estimating
pick
about
up-
20.
Okay.
About 20 kids
I
because
think we should. I think we should look. I think we should do 500 a kid and 20 kids.
I'm with it.
What's that math? Come on, you can do 5
Oh my
times 2.
gosh. That's $10,000.
Thank you.
Good job.
I think we can easily do 10,000. We got 16 for Cash for Cancer, right?
We did, and I mean, we did that fundraiser in less than a month. So,
So, and we're doing it on the 22nd,
21st.
21st.
Yeah.
So what's the date today? What we got? 6-7 weeks.
Right at 5
of
weeks.
December? Is when y'all are doing it? Yeah, you got plenty of time to raise 10,000.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get started on it next week.
All right, so Lawrence County, that's your challenge, is come up with $10,000 to help these kids.
Yeah, so you've got 20 kids that you're at least wanting to do. Give them 500 each. That's awesome.
I mean, in reality, you look at how much. I'm not going to get on this rant.
I was gonna say,
but you
I-
look at the cost of living. You look at inflation. Everybody knows if you go to Walmart, you're going to spend $100 and you're going to get like 5 bags. I'm not blaming Walmart. I'm blaming somebody, but I'm not blaming Walmart. But the cost of living combined with fuel and inflation and everything, I mean, I think it's only fair we give them $500 a piece.
All you
I'm
need
good.
is 100 people to give $100.
Okay.
That ain't bad.
All right. How much
So-
time we got?
What are you buying for $100 to get 5 bags? Are you putting like one item in the bag?
Have you not been grocery shopping?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's
it's like
what he's
one item
saying.
in the bag.
Yeah,
It's insane.
it is. That's
I spent
frustrating.
$100 and maybe
Don't-
I've got 2 bags.
I'm just now getting in a really good mood. Let's not ruin it by talking about the times and inflation.
Let's
and
talk about,
cost of
you
living.
haven't told everybody you got to palm me in the face.
I thought we
No.
haven't. No, that was last week.
Because you only come every other week.
That was.
So you did get to pie me in the face.
I just want to tell you.
Good calls.
I want to tell you, Maddie, I've done a lot of cool things in my life. I've always said I've been fortunate enough to go a lot of places around this world, meet a lot of cool people, do a lot of cool things. And I could use example after example and compare that to what I got to do. But hitting you in the face with that pie, it's ranked in the top 3.
Awesome. I just want you to know, though, Patrick, you were not there for that, but there was a leftover pie, and I did try and sneak up on him.
Tried.
And let me tell you, he can outrun me. That's impressive. He bolted.
She's about as stealthy as a 3-toed sloth.
But let me tell you, he was scared. So
that's not a country analogy. I don't know what.
Have you ever seen him on the History Channel? It takes him like 10 minutes to move a foot.
He bolted across that parking lot, and everybody just stopped, and they were watching me chase the sheriff of Lawrence County through the radio station parking lot. He got in his car and locked it.
Everybody couldn't catch him with those long legs.
No, he outran me.
Everybody's surprised.
He's got the
I don't
speed.
know why everybody's surprised that I can still run.
I'd never seen him run. I didn't know how fast he could run. I couldn't catch him. Could not catch him. Him and Josh Pollitt both bolted.
Oh, yeah, I saw you. I knew you was coming after me.
But the thing was, there was a last minute donation. So the donation put me and Charlotte over the top. So Josh Pollitt just happened to have 2 pies, and it took John about 2 seconds to volunteer to be the one to get to pie me in the face.
No, I didn't volunteer. He asked. He says, "Hey, does anybody want to hit Maddie in the face with a pie?" And I said, "Well, okay. If you're going to twist my arm."
He had his hand up before he finished the sentence.
Exactly.
Does anybody want to hit Maddie?
That was a good day, though. I mean, Blake toppled another pie over the top of my head. I would have been all right with just the pie. It was the pie on top of my head that really got to me.
Well,
but it was for a great cause, and we raised $16,000, and we're looking at helping some people right now. So we've had a few people reach out to us. So I mean, that money is going to local cancer survivors, cancer patients. It's going to be a good thing, and we plan on doing it yearly. So
that's awesome. Anybody that's had family or friends that have suffered through that know that it's just a terrible,
every
terrible
single
disease.
one of us that was there, that participated in this event, has had somebody who suffered for cancer, if it hasn't been just ourselves. So, I mean, I think it's a very big deal, and it's something that Lawrence County needs. And kids need Christmas presents too, so donate.
All right. I think it's time we wrap this show up.
Well, we got a minute. I can't play nothing. It automatically plays.
It automatically plays.
Oh, Lord.
So tell them where they can donate, how they can get it to you.
You can come by 240 West Gaines, drop off a check. Or if you call me, I'll come pick it up. That way you don't have to. Did we do the Venmo? Do we have that?
We don't have that set up. We'll take cash or checks. You will get a receipt. By the way, we're running that through the Sheriff Reserve Association, which is a 501c3 organization. So you will get a receipt. Talks to your tax professional to make sure that is tax deductible. But you will get a receipt to be able to run that through your taxes.
Yeah. So I'll take cash, and I'll take a check. I probably won't take a car title. Probably won't take an IOU. Probably won't take any property. Probably won't take motorcycles or four-wheelers
we're
side by. We need a side by side. If somebody wants to donate a side by side,
just donate money to a good cause.
This is WDXE, W287 AA and W237 FD Lawrenceburg. Broadcast services of Prosper.